2, 1.
Happy Wednesday to everyone! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Jabronis United, your hump day hideaway for all things wrestling related. I am your host, as usual, the real or deal, Ryan O'Regan. With me to my side over here, because that's cameras, is the sniper Kyle Krieger. And thankfully, this is going to be a little bit different from our normal show because we are not going to have to worry about any AEW Dynamite Aftermath at 10 o'clock because Dynamite already happened. Thank you, Tuesday War Fight. So, yes, for a lot of people that don't know or may be a little inept to knowing, Dynamite was last night. It wasn't a special show. It wasn't anything additional. It was just Tuesday night Dynamite for a change, for whatever reasons.
Tuesday night
and
Dynamite.
They did go head-to-head with NXT, which for some reason everyone dubbed it the Tuesday Night War, even though it was one night. I don't know, but we are going to talk about that as well as a few other things, including the new Iron Claw trailer for the Von Erich family movie that is going to be coming out. Looks decent. I have not watched it yet. Kyle, have you watched it yet?
Not yet, no. So we got a full-on reaction here.
Both of us, whenever we get to that later. But first, yes, we do have to talk the war between WWE and WWE's NXT, I should say, and AEW, because NXT is still developmental, which is why you had to have a whole slew of wrestling talent from Raw and SmackDown going over there. I don't know if this was that big of a deal or not. And you can see who won, who cares.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, it's like fans of wrestling were definitely the winners, without question. But it's because like both shows had some interesting stuff going on. Though WWE bringing in their star power in what is basically their Triple H program or AAA program, it's like, I think they could have done what I think they would have been fine even without the star power, quote unquote, coming in. But yeah, it's like it was a fun night. It was a lot of good matches. A lot of good matches on both sides. And I
think that really becomes the question, like, who really won is very subjective.
Yeah.
You could say whoever won in the ratings, whoever put on the biggest surprises, whatever the match quality was between both. You really could say one way or the other.
Yep.
Personally, I do know.
Yeah, personally, I liked AEW's better, but both of them were fantastic. But I think AEW did better because it's like it's showcased a lot of title matches rather than just NXT matches. And it's it's like when you think NXT, you don't really think John Cena or Cody Rhodes. It's like it just showcased on it just showed. I felt that the NXT show, it showcased the quote unquote main roster people instead of the people that NXT should be focusing on. It's like the writers did not trust the NXT wrestlers to be able to put on a fantastic show on their own. It was like a reverse invasion. Because remember when what's his why am I blanking on the group's name? It had like Wade Barrett, it had I Got Kids in there. It had like Heath Slater. Yeah, it was like the reverse Nexus, where like the big names decided to take over the show like, okay, it's a big show. Well, we're just gonna let Big Brother take care of it instead. I'm like, I felt that took away from what it could have been.
Well, I mean, there's definitely some highlights
Oh yeah,
for
no,
NXT.
absolutely, there are absolutely highlights, no doubt. But it's like,
Right now, let's look at AEW for a sec,
okay,
because aside from any surprises that did come up that night, when you look at that card, it's a pretty standard Dynamite card.
yeah,
Right.
but
Now, be honest. When you look at that card, does anyone really stand out to you?
out of the AEW card, oh, there's a lot of people that stand out, but they are, yes, it's basically their main roster. But here's the thing: their main roster is good. It's their main Dynamite roster, and
Right.
Dynamite is their strongest show,
Yes,
in my
but
opinion.
here's the unfortunate thing about this. When you compare it to NXT, with that had all the star power from the other brands, yes, they helped boost it. But even on its own, you can tell who is a star in NXT. You've got your Carmelo Hayes, you've got your Braun Breaker, you've got your Tiffany Stratton,
Mm-hmm.
to a lesser extent, JC Jane, Gina Dolan. Um, Here, it just looks so atypical. There isn't, like, it would be different if Punk was still on here. I know I'm going to get some flack for that, but let's face
Only if
it.
Jeff's
If Punk
watching.
was pictured, he'd be the first person your eyes are drawn to.
Mm.
Here, it's almost like everyone's kind of like on even keel, with maybe the exception of Adam Copeland or Luchasaurus, because they're given like a little bit more space. But really, it's like saying everyone here is even, which I understand. It's a lot of great talent. But really, who are the stars that are driving AEW right now?
Um,
Who can you say for sure?
out of no, there's a lot. Like, well, yeah, you have like Luchasaurus, or not really. You have Edge, you have MJF, you have Bryan Danielson, you have
Right,
Moxley, you got Soraya. It's like, it's showcase, like, their roster has a lot of star power, in my opinion.
right.
So it's like,
And
and it's
to be
showcasing
fair,
a
a
lot of them.
lot of them can stand on their own, yes. But
It's, you don't necessarily need a beacon. It's like, you don't need to have like
don't
this
you know?
one, two, like these one or two pillars. Your entire roster is a pillar, are pillars. That's
Right,
why,
but
that's the thing about AEW.
that's also a downfall to an extent, because if everyone is so great, you really have no one to highlight. And
Eh,
it's kind of like, if everyone was perfectly genetically made, then who's really
eh,
special? Who's really different?
eh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I'm
I
not saying
understand what
anything
you're saying. I
less
just don't think that's good.
AEW
It's like,
put on better matches last night than NXT did.
oh, absolutely. I think AEW did, because,
Yeah, Brian Danielson versus Swerve.
oh,
Oh,
beautiful,
that was a nice.
beautiful match.
Yes, something that could have easily been like pay-per-view quality
Soraya
if they had the
and
script.
Sheeta was brutal.
Oh yeah, no, and there was definitely surprises last night.
hmm
Um, More so in regards to title switches than anything
Yes,
else, because yes,
they AEW has been continuing on with showing that titles can change hands on non showcase, on non pay per view shows. I love that.
right, it makes it valuable watching because you don't know
Exactly.
when a title will switch.
hmm
However, I would also say this kind of reaffirms my fact that the only reason Soraya even got it was because they were in England.
And you know what?
She had a
That's
2 month
fine.
reign,
It still it sends
defended
the
it
people home,
twice.
happy. But it's like, what, that's one of the things that I think WWE doesn't understand anymore. It's like, yeah, you could have the same person win it over and over again, or you have the same person hold the title for years on end, as they constantly show us. But it's like, you get that pop, you get that go home happy feeling, you get a good reaction. It's like, yeah, and here's the thing. It's like, yeah, you could have a title change hands. Sure, have it switch back the next week. That's fine. It still creates a good match. And I hear myself again.
I think it's because you're getting so much more excited
I
that it's
guess.
like you're purposely putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Not really sure. Not really sure
I
what's
mean,
causing that, because it's like every like few minutes it's like, up here's some more burst. Up and I'm back quiet again because I can't hear myself now. I don't know.
it's just Kyle's energy, it's that reactive.
Clearly, I create so much thunder.
Yes. But no, credit to Hikaru Shida, 3-time women's champion in AEW, possibly the most decorated women's champion at this point
Yeah.
in the whole brand.
Hmm.
Say what you will about Jade Cargill back when she had the TBS championship and her undefeated streak, but
Hmm.
I would say this has to make Shida the most dominant woman in the locker room at this point. No,
Which is fine. And honestly, that's kind of what I said when even after Soraya won it. It's like we're I for that match, I was fine with either Soraya or Shida winning it, because both of them are, I think, fantastic. Are probably the two best parts of AEW's women divisions right now. Now, do I want the rest of the women roster to get a chance to be featured in title matches? Yes, absolutely, and hopefully this will open that up.
now of course another person that also won last night, I think in dubious fashion. I
Exactly,
just love that post right there.
Stickman McGee. But
Yeah, no,
I
now,
think that was because didn't like I think Moxie is
yeah,
hurt.
no, there is some. I don't want to say controversy, but there is some like you know baseball thing going on here.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was supposed to be Mox versus Phoenix. Mox was not cleared to wrestle last night.
Hmm.
Then, you know, good on them for not pushing
Yeah.
the fact, even though they just knew that
Hmm.
the only reason Ray got the title in the first place was by accident.
Yep.
And he did defend it already at least once.
Yes. So,
But I think it was clear to see that either way you look at it, Phoenix was going to lose the belt last night. It just happened to
which is
now go.
fine. I do kind of wish that he held on to it for a bit longer. But I think they just I think they just figured that it's like, you know what? It's like, yeah, we had Moxley win it. Unfortunately, he gets hurt, so we gotta swerve and change plans. Phoenix got a title run out of it, as short as it was. So they're like, you know what? We're just gonna do like a hard reset, put it back on Cassidy, start a new storyline, go from there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't have minded if they kept it on Phoenix because I
Yeah,
would have
same.
liked to have seen what you could have done with some certain competitors,
Hmm.
and it certainly would have been able to open up a whole branch of competition for the Intercontinental Championship, or the International Championship. I forget Inter something Championship, whatever it is at this international.
Interspecies championship.
Yes, it would have opened up to a lot of other people that possibly Orange Cassidy hadn't wrestled against for it, or that people he probably couldn't wrestle against for it because as great as Orange is, he is maybe a little bit slower as far as lightweight competitors
Mm.
compared to people like Vikingo, Bandito, whoever else would have worked great against Ray Phoenix.
Hmm.
Especially considering you had the Young Bucks getting into title competition lately, and Ray Phoenix, Death Triangle versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. That's got some storied history. There's a lot you could have done with them,
Absolutely.
but I do think Ray Phoenix may be a little bit too early for that singles run.
Even then, even if it's too early, they should be able to, like, if you're writing at this high level of pro wrestling, you should at least have the ability to do that. You should be able to
I would
create
say
something.
if that was the case, yeah. If it was like Pac out of Death Triangle, I would agree with you. But if it was Penta or Ray Phoenix, I don't know. It just I see a lot more energy and a lot more chemistry coming from them when they're working in a tag team scenario or in a trio scenario. Never as a singles artist. And now that may just be my blindsidedness being like, oh, well, that's a tag team guy. He should stay a tag team guy. He's not a Shawn Michaels yet. And, maybe there's some truth in that because, again, Ray Phoenix was never supposed to have it in the first place. So it was a happy accident. But I do like the idea of it going back to Orange Cassidy. He had a little bit of a break, but he has pretty much made that title so significant, as opposed to saying some of the other titles on AEW,
Mm-hmm.
probably more so than even the Triple B of MJF, which
Mm-hmm.
can be kidnapped and not given back to him because of Jay White.
True.
So good on Orange, good on them at least working one of these belts to some degree. But yeah, like I said, with all the matches together, I would say the matches were stronger for sure than NXT because really NXT was all just about the fluff. There was some good stuff. I would definitely say Roxanne Perez versus Asuka was probably best match of the night
Oh,
in my
absolutely.
mind.
In my opinion, yes.
But all people could talk about was, hey, Cody was there, and hey, Cena was there, and they brought in LNA to be a ref.
And
And most importantly, the biggest news to come out of NXT last night, even though we all heard the gong and we all knew it was happening, bong,
mm-hmm. They
bong,
they they dug up the Undertaker.
bong,
It was a good show, but
bong.
yep.
Carmelo needed the rub.
Mm-hmm.
No, also, look at the shirt here.
Yep.
It reeks so much of trying to be like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. And it's like,
Like
yeah,
instead it's old school choke slam tombstone last ride.
it's the Underbiker.
I heard someone talking. I think it might have been Steven Larson. They're gonna have to find a way for him to take the motorcycle up into the ring because the legs just don't work like they used to. And
Break out the old Royal Rumble entrance cart.
yeah, look, I'm as diehard a Taker fan as I could possibly think of. There are ones stronger than me. My girl Renee, she was crying when the streak was broken.
Mm.
Like I was there that night. I saw it. The tears rolling down. We had to console her while the
Oh
rest of
boy.
the night was still going on for WrestleMania. So I get that there are certain people that are impassioned by Mark Calloway, by Undertaker, whether it's the Phenom, the Dead Man, whatever you want to call him. And yes, I do think that the last ride match that he had with AJ Styles, though it was cinematic, was a definite highlight for him to go out on. I don't know who this is really helping by bringing him in and making him try to, put his foot on the neck of Braun Breaker.
Oh, that's kind of what I was saying before. It's like, yeah, you bring in all the big names, you bring in the Undertaker, you bring in John Cena, but it's gonna take away from the talent. And you know how they write it. They're gonna have all these all these bigger names come out as dominant over them. It's like,
But when you see the man hobbling into the
I
ring,
know.
how can you really feel that much dominance coming from him?
That's my point. It's like, yeah, he has the aura about him, but it's like you can only suspend your disbelief so much. It's like after the Undertaker, who else is going to come and running down to the ring? Kevin Nash? Like,
If they actually
oh,
do a match between Taker and Braun, look, it's going to take him 5 minutes just to get up on the top rope to do old school. And even then, he is
he's going to
not
hurt
making it to the
himself.
middle of the ring.
You know, they should have retired him when they did, and maybe have Undertaker pop up here, which is fine for him popping up here and there. Do not put him in any matches. Do what they did with Stone Cold for however long, where he just basically saunters to the ring, Stone Cold Stunner, drink beer, saunters on out. That's the thing with the Undertaker. Have him hobble onto the ring, uh,
Chokeslam
Be all
somebody.
scary. Maybe have them attack him, knock him down, and then have Undertaker do his little pop up there, and then chokeslam. Boom, done.
Yeah, no, chokeslam is obviously the easiest way to go, simply because
He ain't doing
with
tombstone
the
no more.
chokeslam, it's all on the other person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Braun got some height taking that jump
Which is
for the
fine.
chokeslam.
Yep. Yeah,
So credit to
exactly.
Braun,
Chokeslam's fine.
he sold it well.
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
He did.
unless it's like someone like Rey Mysterio, he should not be doing a tombstone or a last ride.
This, on the other hand, this is just silly to me. Like,
It is, but it's like,
like of
the
all the
the
people that actually needed that, you think him needed it?
nope.
Him does not
Oh
need that.
goodness, no. But that's what the writing. That's WWE writing.
I mean, at least Cena interworked a lot of things when he was in the ring
Well,
with Braun.
Cena's also a lot
Or
more mobile.
well, well, the thing is, there's more storyline going on with
Yes,
him.
it,
Why you bring
it's build up.
LA Knight, the hottest ticket in WWE,
LA, yeah.
just to ref a match?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
And even then, you're refing it against a match that shouldn't need a special ref. It's
Yeah.
Ilya Dragunov versus Dominic. I don't care what the Judgment Day
Mm-hmm.
does. Dragunov is mollywopping all of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That Russian is just mad crazy. I can't wait for him to get up on the main roster. Him and Gunther, they are going to take it back to WWE NXT UK.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Which is
They're going to
fine.
bring those matches back. I am going to be happy.
Yep. But it's like, it just goes back to my point. It's like they're bringing in the star power, and they're just showing how the writing will have them overshadow anyone that they're supposed to be putting over.
Now, one thing I want to point out just to finish this off, because regardless of which one you liked, at least there was a big night of wrestling.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You could have gone to either side.
And the overall show
You could
was
have
good.
yeah. But I did want to showcase this that I saw on Twitter, because Adam Copeland, he posted up this picture of him, Danielson, and Soraya.
Oh, that was a cool one.
And to follow it up, Soraya actually did go ahead and send out this tweet right here, which says, for those of you who can't read, um, you know what was really cool yesterday? Was before the show, I was standing in the ring and I saw Adam Copeland on one side and Brian Dennison on the other. And I was just like, holy shit, none of us thought we would wrestle again. And I thought, and I felt very grateful. Very cool moment.
Mm-hmm. And it
That is
was.
touching as all hell.
Yeah. And
That I love.
absolutely. And you know what? They brought themselves back. They kept themselves in shape. They worked. They rehabbed. They did everything they could. And you know what? That's great.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to say AEW is like the place where wrestlers go to retire. They're much in the same vein of like how people used to say that WCW was like, or Impact was where wrestlers go from WWE after rehab.
Well, that's kind of what Impact was for quite some time.
Right. I understand in those senses, yes. But I exactly, yes, Jeffrey.
Hmm.
I do feel that if nothing else, it's nice that there is this other environment for them to go to. If only
Hmm.
because, yeah, under the WWE banner, regardless of who you are, regardless of your popularity, regardless of your health, you are abiding by the whims of Vince or Vince and Endeavor, regardless of how you look at it. It's still under one mindset. It's nice that there is someone with at least a differing mindset with, Tony Khan, with the Young Bucks, whoever is truly in charge here, that they're able to go ahead and be like, this isn't necessarily a second chance. This is a revival. This is bringing somebody from the dead, someone that could not, would not be able to wrestle under other circumstances where they were, and being given this shot to do the things that they want to do the way they want to do it.
Hmm.
To me, that's beautiful, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, no, that is, it was a fantastic photo too.
But enough sentimentality. You didn't come for the smiles and cries. You came for other. I know
Did we though?
transition wise.
I came for the
So
sentimentality.
Tuesday Night War. Yeah, call it what you
Yeah,
will.
Tuesday Night War. I
Let's.
think that both shows were good, but the overall better one, in my opinion, AEW, because they showcase their they showcase their roster, they showcase their stars, and while NXT tried to showcase the WWE stars, they did it on the wrong show.
I get that. I do. Um, Now, speaking of wrestling and all things connected, um, you and I, we wouldn't even have this stuff to talk about in two parts. One, because of the shows that are on television, and two, because of who we listen to as far as the reporters, whether it be Meltzer or the people over at, you know, any other
Like
journalist,
the,
really.
yeah, like the and like
Meltzer
the
is like
and
the
like the
journalist,
shows.
or like Brian Alvarez and the rest of them. It's like it's kind of like a
Mhm.
mix of like, are you a journalist or Chris Van Vliet, or are you just a pundit, whatever. But
Yep. Or like Busted
apparently, not a
Open or
lot of
something like that.
people are liking the idea of them having too much leeway with what goes on here. So, in this from Sports Amaze, credit to Aman Dazari for going ahead and posting this up. Booker T calls for WWE and AEW to ban wrestling journalists like Dave Meltzer.
That's
Now, Booker T,
dumb.
we already know he's a definite mouthpiece of the WWE. He is
Mhm.
one of their longtime people. Shucky ducky quack quack, whatever have you. But I do find this article to be interesting for the fact that there is maybe a little bit of truth to what he's saying. Let's go through this here. So Booker T, former WWE Hall of Fame. Well, really, you're not a former WWE Hall of Famer. You are a WWE Hall of Famer. The only way he's former is if they take away the ring or he's dead. But still, current NXT commentator expressed worry about the influence of wrestling writers, especially those like Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, on his Hall of Fame podcast, which is a great podcast, and I'm not necessarily plugging, but if you go ahead, check it out. Booker T recommended that WWE and AEW take into account imposing limitations on these people, possibly prohibiting them from using locker rooms and attending events. Now, it goes on to say the focus of Booker T's major argument is the reporting done by publications like Wrestling Observer, that's Meltzer's, and the dissemination of scoops among wrestlers. He fiercely defends these actions as being detrimental to the wrestling business, claiming that they are killing business. He's not necessarily wrong.
No, it's and yeah, it's like some of those insiders are the most obnoxious little craps that you will ever meet. And the way they deliver it is just straight up TMZ bullcrap. But it's like, to outright ban is really dumb.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say outright ban. I mean, they do provide a service for sure, but like kind of like how you saw Fastlane this past weekend, the post match junket that they had that offered some great insight. And I'm sorry, what they did with
Yeah,
Jay and Cody afterward, Jay being drunk as all hell, that provided just
yeah,
its own brand of.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's like there's it's sports reporting in like any sense. It's a needed thing, and it's, well, yeah, we may be a little biased, I guess, but it's like,
Yeah, I mean, without it, we don't have anything to talk about for sure.
it's like, I don't know.
But I,
Should a lot of these insiders, report things a little better? Absolutely. Should they not be obnoxious little jackasses? Absolutely. And it's just, well, no, a lot of them think their crap don't stink, which That drives me crazy. That
because they get the
that drives me
inside
crazy no
scoop,
matter what.
sure, but
But
there is a case that because we do live in like an internet world, maybe we get just a little bit too much information. Maybe we're
there
seeing
could be an
behind the
information overload. Absolutely.
curtains.
Yeah, no, there could absolutely be an information overload.
Let's see. The precise event
But
that
it's like,
sparked Booker's annoyance was rumors that Mustafa Ali may win the NXT North American title after conversations with in WWE meetings that were made public. The renowned wrestler was not pleased with this incident.
wait, what wasn't Booker T part of the company that announced Mankind winning the title? Come on.
Yes, but that was also back in the day when there was no other outlet, and you had to hear
Yeah,
it like
well, yeah, well, guess well
people
that
had to
that I
call
don't know. That
people.
seems kind of hypocritical coming
Dude,
from him.
they had to do it in order to make people switch channels. Now you can record, you can watch everything next day, um, and
Oh,
maybe you get scoops and spoilers before
well,
the shows even go on, regardless if they're taped or
well, here's
live.
here's the thing. He should do what most professionals do. Ignore the rumors. Who cares what the rumors say? If he wants to get all pissy about that, that's like there's like so many other things he could be pissy about on wrestling reporting. It's like, okay, just it's like fine. If someone asks you about it, just say, "Yeah, I heard about it. Rumors are rumors." Whatever. Just brush it off. Like brush it off like just brush it off like you do any of the CTE reporting. It's just yeah, it's like
Though you have to admit, it is funny that the thing that really sparked this was the issue of Mustafa Ali winning the championship, especially when he was slated to go up against Dominic at No Mercy.
mhm.
And then prior to that event, he was let go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So guess what? That rumor turned out to be false. How about that?
right, but I think that also becomes the issue where you're getting people's anticipations high,
Okay.
and possibly even the wrestler themselves who's being talked about. And then this is like, imagine if you're hearing rumors that you're going to go over Dominic and you're going to win that Saturday at No Mercy, and then 3 days prior to that match, you get the call that you're being let go.
Yeah, future endeavor.
That is demoralizing.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely. So I mean, there is maybe a case that too much information, shouldn't be put out there.
Mhm.
Um, just to go back into the report here, Booker T elaborated on his stance by describing incidents like this as representative of what is wrong with this business today. That is so like
The
boomers
business.
screaming at the moon. But
Mhm.
he said that people like Meltzer and Alvarez irritate him by divulging what he considers to be insider information, which is equivalent to giving away the plot of a movie before it is released. He
Mhm.
fervently feels that these leaks have a negative effect on the wrestling business.
Eh.
Eh,
Also,
awesome. I mean, it's a fair comparison,
it
it is,
is.
but
Also, I'm
I
getting
think
feedback
it
again.
has to be said that wrestling and movies and wrestling and other sports, when you compare all three, it's kind of like a weird like Venn diagram. It's like wrestling truly is its own thing, where it's like it wants to be taken as seriously as other sports do, but then it also does have like the writers and the plot lines and the will they won't they sort of thing going on that you get with other forms of entertainment. It's a weird amalgamation. And that's why we love it so much.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's its own universe. But like I said, it's like it's just it's part of it. Yeah, there are leaks. Yeah, it builds up excitement or things. And yeah, a lot of these insiders really should be more tactful, but it's unfortunately the nature of the game right now. A ban, no. Should like I said before, certain insider individuals need to be better at their jobs.
Right. I would say if nothing else, there should be like a limit to how much information they get and how much information they put out. And that may be hard for me to say about other people doing
Honestly,
their work, but
a lot of those.
And yeah,
Well, like I
Jeffrey,
said, a lot of.
it
Mhm.
does sort of like, I don't want to say break kayfabe because I think kayfabe has been gone for quite some time, but it does help knowing less about what's going on than one would expect. Take for example last night with AEW. Who in their right mind called that Sheeta was going to win over Soraya after she just won it a couple of months ago? No one would have called that. And even more so, once they heard that Mox was unscheduled or not cleared to fight, who would have guessed that Orange Cassidy would be the one to win it off Ray Phoenix? If anything, you could have easily said, hey, have Ray hold on to it until Mox is ready.
Mhm.
So it's not like surprises don't happen, but I do feel like as far as, injuries are concerned, or, if certain talent is being suspended or banned or something like that, stuff that is pertinent to the welfare of the wrestlers, that should definitely be reported on.
Mhm.
Things of a storyline nature or things that could possibly be written or unwritten, maybe leave that stuff off the table because that stuff can always be changed. And then hypes won't get heightened to the point where they get let down later.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, didn't see it coming.
Didn't
Well,
see
I
it
mean, Hobbs is
coming.
already $1,000,000, Jeff. I mean, that the book of Hobbs is going to sell better than the Bible one day. All right, I'm saying it right now.
One of these days.
One of these days, gotta get the right publisher.
One of these
QXT
days.
is or QTV is not it. And yeah, again, FTR gangs. Well, I don't want to necessarily say squash. They definitely lost it quickly. But yeah, FTR giving up the tag belts to Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Did not see that coming either. I would say, if
So,
anything, AEW
something
was
must have happened.
yeah,
Something must have
AEW
happened that.
probably has a better routine of keeping things close to the chest than say WWE does.
Yes.
And that just may be the whole fact of like old school thinking with Vince or Triple H or whoever else being brought up with that for
Mhm.
so many years versus Tony Khan, who has been a fan of wrestling for so long. So he has a way of like circumventing your expectations.
Well, it kind of goes back to to a point that I mentioned earlier. They don't have scruples about titles changing hands
Mm.
on non pay per view shows, and that's one of the things I really like about AEW. It's like, all right, you can have the titles changed. That's great. Okay, it gets people to watch because there's a chance that something can be changed. But and but when it comes to like this with FTR, it feels like there was something going on that someone might have gotten hurt or someone might have been fighting something.
Well, no, Cash got hurt. They did report on that. Cash was the one who got hurt, which is why they gave him up. I don't
Hmm.
know if that's the case with Soraya. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah. Well, then again, remember Soraya just came back again, so it's like maybe there's some complication. Maybe it's like okay, some it feels like there's something going on that's causing the title to go off them for now. So and FTR's run was quite some time. Why they dropped it to Big Bill, mm, I'm unsure.
Well,
But you know
okay, no,
what?
no. Think of it less as dropping it to Big Bill and think of it more of dropping it to Ricky Starks. Like,
Okay,
Ricky Starks is on a roll. Let us not deny that.
all right. Yeah, that's true. And Enzo Starks is doing all right.
No, don't. I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there. And funny enough, it was reported that with this title change of the FTR giving up the tag belts to Bill and Ricky Starks, this is the first championship that Big Bill has ever held.
Yeah, and that surprised me.
That is surprising.
Especially given how popular Enzo and Cass were in the WWE. It, but no, that's absolutely right.
Jeffrey, don't start that rumor mill. Jeff?
Jeffrey Metzger over here.
No, 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 no. No, what? Look, CM Punk news aside. All right. We already know he's been rejected by WWE now, so
Yes, that was another rumor that turned out to be false.
well, false for now. False for now.
Yes,
If
for
they
now.
find utility and they can use him, then fine. But that's going to be more Endeavor's call than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And considering Endeavor had to work with him at UFC, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Oh, Jeff. We know your feelings. We know. Last thing I want to do is get him started. But yeah, so I mean, let us know in the comments on this show or anything else. Do you think you get too much wrestling news, or do you think it's still just, sizable enough for your palate to handle? I, for one, do see some merit in what Booker T is saying. Others may just think he's being an old man. Maybe he is, but if he can still do the spinneroonie, I'll give him some credit. It's sad that that's how you can get me. It's like, do the spinneroonie, you old man, and if he does it, I'm all cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to our third big thing for the night. Now, I don't know if you had heard about this. It's weird. There's a movie about the Von Erichs that's going to be coming out soon. Did you know this? Did you hear about this?
I've heard of it. I don't really know much about it though.
It's got Zac
Do
Efron in
tell.
it, and I've really been looking
What was it
forward to
called? You were cutting out for a second.
seeing what all is about. I really have. So
You
I'm
were cutting out for a second.
well,
I was
yeah,
gonna say,
because
what was
there's
the name
commercials
of
from.
it?
Screw you, John Legend.
Well, what was the name of it?
No, John Legend
What?
commercials were
Can you
coming up
repeat the
because
name
of.
of it? You were cutting out. What was the
Oh,
name of it
hold on.
again? You cut your
The Iron Claw.
stream
The
cut
Iron
out.
Claw.
Iron Claw. Okay.
Yes, it is the Iron Claw, and we are
Mm-hmm.
going to watch it now, as soon as I get this up here. Share this tab instead. Yes. Okay. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I have not watched this yet. Kyle, have you watched this yet?
Not yet. No. Let's take a look.
All right. And again, we are free to use this, so you can't really say anything about it, YouTube. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Let me
The
just
claw.
get a little bit more room in there. There we go. Okay. Oh, helps if I unmute it.
Usually, yes.
There we go.
People said my family was cursed. Mom tried to protect us with God. Pop tried to protect us with wrestling. He said if we were the toughest, the strongest, nothing could ever hurt us. I believed him.
Oh, for the Reaper.
Pants tomorrow, please, David.
Perry, I want you to join your brothers in the ring.
Yes, sir. I love that.
Oh my
Now,
God.
we all know Kerry's my favorite, then Kev, then Dave, then Mike. But the rankings can always change.
I want to be with my family. Be with my brother.
Oh,
What do you like to do with your brothers?
I'm gonna pause it real quick. First of all, they look fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my
I
gosh.
can honestly say, as far as like looking like the Von Erichs, down packed. Yeah, I am too. Like, this could be like the new wrestler with Mickey Rourke, in my mind. Because nothing is more tragic than the Von Erichs. And with this kind of cast and looking the way they do, you can tell that there's a certain amount of dedication.
What's also kind of it also pardon me. A lot of this is coming out when there's like one of them only one Von Erich left.
Do it now while you still can.
I guess so.
I mean, I hate to say it like that, but
it's like I wish this came out earlier, to be honest. But it's like it feels like here it's like it. But then again, it keeps their memory alive.
well, that's the thing. It's like I don't know if there necessarily would have like been like I don't want to say like a business for it, but I don't know if there necessarily would have been like as much fanfare for something like this as there is now.
I kind of want to see one of the Hart family.
Well, that's the thing. If this goes well with a lesser known product, then by far the Hart family is going to go ahead and get theirs. I am sure of it.
Mm.
But it's all a matter of time. You know how they were talking about like there was going to be like a biography on Vince? And they got like Bradley Cooper to play Vince? Explain to me how that works. But yeah, let's get back to it here.
Can do anything.
We're here to restore justice to the Wrestling Federation that our father built with his own two hands. The hands that were passed down to us. The hands that will deliver the Iron Claw to you.
So what do you think? Like we're alive.
I love your family, Kevin.
Gonna be uncle?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that makes me so happy.
I talked to you about something, Mom. Dad's too tough on us. You gotta say something.
Baby, that's what your brothers are for.
Feel that? You feel that? That's pressure.
You're pushing too hard.
I'm fine, Kev. Seriously, I'm just sick.
Oh, I'm scared, man. It all out of control.
That's a terrible accident.
I should have stopped it. I need to think about my family.
I gotta stop it there because I was wondering how far they were going to go into the whole family business. And it looks like a good amount of it is pretty much going to be like them coming up as brothers and having to deal with the Machiavellian tendencies of their father. Which, let's face it, the elder Von Erich was definitely, I don't want to say a taskmaster because that name was taken by somebody else. But he was hard on the boys. He definitely was. But it's only because of that they became so synonymous with the territory and the wrestling. So it's kind of like you kind of may not like him for some of the things, but you can't deny the results.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any feelings on that kind of like training and upbringing? Because we see that more with like the historic families, whether it be the Von Erichs, whether it be the Harts, the Neidharts, whatever have you. I guess even Triple H will probably be like that to his daughters one day. Who knows?
I hope not. Because that would be awful.
Okay, fine. Stephanie will make more sense.
That's still pretty awful. I was gonna say it's like they should do it kind of like how Matt Hardy is. But
how is Matt Hardy with his kid?
Pretty good so far, apparently.
I don't know. He got him into a match and he made him win.
Oh yeah. But he got him into a match. But then again, it was with like it's like that particular one was with someone who absolutely just had fun with it. While if this was like the Von Erichs, he'd probably tell the other guy to literally hurt him. But
it's your boy how it's done.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, so they had fun with it, and now whenever like Hardy's inside matches and involves his family, it's very controlled. It's usually one of the video matches, so they can have some fun with it. So it's like it's getting them involved without putting them in danger.
Right, and I think there's probably like with the newer generation, you see some of the older wrestlers probably being a little more cognizant of that. especially now that we are getting this like new crop of new generation people, whether it be like The Rock's daughter or
Didn't she just didn't she just stop?
like Nick Wayne.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's like I heard that I know that The Rock's daughter was getting involved in wrestling, but it's like I saw like a recent article that where that she's like taking a break now.
I don't know. Last night she was talking with Paul Heyman.
Oh,
She could be trying to get incorporated into the bloodline.
okay, which could be interesting.
Right.
And
Well, I
get-
mean, that's the thing. If you've got the bloodline and then you have like the Judgment Day, you need something to counteract Rhea. So
I mean, it's an absolute fast track to get on TV for sure.
right. I mean, I would say keep Nia Jax and bring her in, but don't look at me like that. Don't look. Look, I'm just saying, as far as bloodline is concerned, Nia Jax is more of a force than it. Scott, no, stop. Don't look at me with that Scott face. Don't look at me with the Scott face like you're all disappointed like a father. Look, stop it. Stop it. That's it. I'm going back to the video. I can't with you.
Your job is to wrestle.
Live up to that deal, or we are through.
That's all I'm gonna look out for!
I just love being out there with you guys. It's the only thing that matters to me.
Of Honor will forever be the greatest family in the history of wrestling.
I am definitely interested in checking this movie out.
Yes, I am very hyped for this. Not necessarily because it's wrestling, but because it looks great. Like
At the very least, they got the looks down.
They got the looks. It looks like they've actually been training in the ring. Don't know how much stunt doubling they did, but if it's any indication, you can see that maybe Hollywood is taking wrestling a little bit more seriously, especially when you look at stuff like having Stephen Amell with heels, having people like Bad Bunny get into the ring. I want to believe that they're actually going to treat this with some sincerity and not just make it more of like, yeah, they slap each other's selves around, but you know, what's all the drugs? That's more important. No. Turmoil aside, there is more to speak about the Von Erich family than just the downfall of the siblings. And I hope that this movie recognizes it. It looks like it will, and let's hope that it stays like that.
Okay. It's like I agree. You basically covered everything that I would say.
Oh, don't say it like that. Come on.
That pretty much covers everything I wanted to say about it. Because you're right. You're absolutely right. It looks like it's going to be very good.
Well, okay, based upon this, let's say this movie does great, maybe even gets some award recognition.
Documentary.
If that's the case, and the wrestling business is now looked at as a viable landscape to make films, not just movies, not Ready to Rumble with David Arquette, legitimate.
That was a great movie.
Film. Like Martin Scorsese yelling at Marvel, sort of some cinema.
Bonesaw is ready.
God help him.
I want a Bonesaw movie, but
no. We are not getting a movie off of a fictional character from a Spider-Man movie. No.
That would be amazing, though.
It's bad enough.
Call the Ghost of Randy Savage. That would be amazing.
El Muerto. That whole Marvel wrestler luchador movie that Bad Bunny was supposed to be a part of, he's left.
Nacho Libre.
So I don't know if that's going to continue or not. But what stories do you think would be perfect for a feature-length dramatic movie?
Hart Family.
The Hearts. Okay. Yeah, no.
And the Flares.
I almost feel like...
And the Flares.
Oh, God, no, the Flares. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. No. That is going to be rated...
Eventually, I'd like to see... if the Hardy Kids... If the Hardy Kids get involved and do well, then something with them. Maybe the Mysterios.
I think the Mysterios could play well.
You got the Guerreros.
Okay. There has to be a story that doesn't necessarily end in tragedy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hope if the Hardy kids end up getting involved and doing well, I'd like to see a movie with them or about their family. The otherwise, you could always do one on like just random old wrestlers like San Martino, or I know that there's been some documentaries on Andre the Giant.
Yes, true.
So maybe something about like the rehashing of the Attitude Era and the battle between WWE, WCW, and with a hint of ECW on it. That could be an interesting movie.
A movie about the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
Who? I'll tell you what, if they did that one, that would be like the Avengers Infinity War of wrestling movies.
But
think about how many people you would have to cast for that.
Absolutely. But then again, you say you didn't want it to end in tragedy, so.
I mean,
there was a name on the contract, and it was a McMahon.
Right. Well,
the name read Shane McMahon.
Monday Night Wars. It's kind of like a J.R.R. Tolkien sort of thing because you have these three differing armies.
Well, there you got a universe. You got multiple movies out of it.
No, God help us if you stretch it out past I'll give it 2 movies. I would give the Monday Night
Wars. Fine. We'll have 2 movies and a half-hour ECW special.
Why ECW gotta get the short end? That's just
that would be prototypical of the Monday Night Wars, but
that's mean. That is so mean, but still
it is, but it's sadly true. Even though ECW probably had one of the greatest impacts of wrestling.
Yes.
No doubt there.
You know what? If there's going to be a story about a franchise, do it on ECW.
More than just like a 30 for 30.
Not on AEW. Do it on ECW. And you make that shit a hard R.
Absolutely. Well, it's like the thing is, it's like I think there's like 30 for 30 style documentaries of the rise and fall of ECW. But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of documentaries from that, or Dark Side of the Ring and stuff of that nature, where you get all these big stories in there. But if you actually wanted to go ahead and pad it out and make it a little bit more thematic, I would definitely say ECW is the one you want to go to for
a movie for sure, and have the Monday Night Wars as another movie, because that one's mainly WCW and WWE.
Dude, imagine if they did a movie on ECW and they got Jean-Claude Van Damme to play Rob Van Dam.
And they got the actual New Jack.
Yes. Dude, I can only imagine what the casting is going to be for stuff like that. If it does,
who would play Paul Heyman? He could probably
play himself. Some of these actors are going to have to put on in order to get to that size.
Well, honestly, you could probably get some of the wrestlers to reprise their role and use the magic of makeup and CGI. But
well, no, what was it? It was
they take 20 years off of Tommy Dreamer.
They had Selena Vega playing AJ Lee in Fighting with My Family.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can get other wrestlers to play other wrestlers.
Who are you going to have? There you go. We'll have Otis play Paul Heyman.
Oh, no. Come on. Dude, no.
Paul Heyman doing the worm.
Tucky, I need my pills. My ponytail's too tight.
Yep. Well, he always wore a baseball hat then anyway.
Okay, no.
And carried the brick of a cell phone.
Okay. I think stunt casting will have to be for another episode. But hey, we're actually
okay. Whoever's listening in chat, who do you got casting for the ECW movie?
Yeah, who do you have casting for any movie? If it was done about a wrestling family, a wrestling franchise, maybe a particular come up, like we saw with Fighting with My Family, maybe some fictional people like the wrestler, or do you want some heartbreak like what we're gonna get with the Von Erichs? Do you want to see how Jesse Ventura came up to become the political figure that he did? Do you want
that could be an interesting movie, the Jesse Ventura movie.
And there's another one. I know they had there was talk about a Hulk Hogan movie being made with Chris Hemsworth taking the role.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that apparently is no longer in the works either.
Aw.
So I think it's just gonna have to take like the right amount of timing, the right story, the right actor. Because I mean I could have seen with the mustache and the golden hair, I could have seen Chris Hemsworth as Hulk, but I don't know if I'd want to. And what
Oh,
oh
Danny
dude.
DeVito as Paulie Dangerous.
Dude,
Oh boy.
Deadpool has so much clout right now, I would not be against that.
I wouldn't be either, but that would be. Oh boy.
Dude, imagine if you
Then
got
I
the
started
entire
blasting.
Always Sunny cast in ECW. I could easily see Charlie Day as Tommy Dreamer.
Charlie as a young Tommy Dreamer.
You
No,
slick
no.
back the hair, it's
No,
perfect.
no, no. Handsome Tommy Dreamer should be Ryan Reynolds, just to be funny.
No,
Let's see.
and
Who?
then you get
Raven.
what's her face as Francine. Just give her a wig.
There you go. So who would be Raven though?
Raven, I think would be
Johnny Depp as
oh
Raven.
God, no, Jesus, no. Although I could see it. I could see it, yeah. But I don't think he'd be willing to actually do like if he had to do it, he'd have to use a stunt double.
Who
'Cause
would be stunning Steve Austin?
ooh. With the hair?
Because he was in WWE. He was in ECW for a moment. So was Jericho
And Ray.
and Ray.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of WWE stalwarts that started up in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have to get someone for Eddie too.
Yep. Who would be Sandman? That's another big one.
No. Sandman would be easy. Just get Gary Busey.
Wouldn't work with the hair. Let's
Who
see.
cares? Just shave it off or put him in a wig.
Yeah.
It would look
Nah.
ridiculous anyway. He would just be drinking the whole time. He
Man,
does that anyway.
we don't need.
He's not for
I'd
it.
rather see Christopher Walken as Sandman than Gary Busey.
Dude, no.
I'm
God.
gonna come down
Have
to
you
the
seen how bad
ring.
Christopher Walken has aged?
I know. Let's see. Who else? Who else we got? I don't really know too many who would look like him with the haircut. As maybe John Cena as the Sandman.
Perfect. That I like. Just seeing Cena like downing beers the whole time and hitting himself with a kendo stick.
That would be
got
funny.
enough comedy chops where he would do that and it would look funny but intimidating at the same time.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
No, like I said before, no. New Jack would be played by New Jack.
I don't think New Jack would be alive long enough to play New Jack.
Fine, Virgil.
But Wood Harris I like. I like Wood.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
But anyway,
who would be Joey Styles?
oh jeez.
That one I think would work better as Charlie Day.
Okay, I can see that.
He can do the crazy hype
but
if he needs to.
With Joey Styles, you would have to have probably a little bit more enthusiasm behind the mic. Someone that could really just go hog wild on the mic.
My God!
Yeah.
I could be Joey Styles. There we go.
No. If you're Joey Styles, then I'm Paulie.
There you go. That works.
Casting directors, look us up. But anyway, I think that's going to call it a night for tonight. We actually did pretty well under the circumstances.
Indeed.
Hopefully,
Davion will be back next week after he's done with NYCC.
Yeah.
And if you are up in NYCC, go visit his booth.
And yes, if you are going to be in the New York area, go to New York Comic Con. Go find our guy Davion. I think he has his information posted online. Did he not?
And make sure you use Ryan's nickname for him.
What, Major Dave Busey?
There you go.
Yeah. If you call him anything else, he won't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let me see if Davion actually does have his stuff on there.
I think he's posted it a few times.
Yeah, here we go. Let me just All that clear. There you go. You can read that.
Booth
Booth
5400.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All 4 days. Go say hello to him. Tell him that you appreciate his work and that you love his appearances on the show here on Jabroni.
But also let him know that he's missing the 2 white guys that he really should have with him.
He could have brought us.
Oh, one more, just because I think this is brilliant.
That is a very good one. I like it.
See, do that for Christopher Walken. He's old enough. Although
Christopher Walken as Vince McMahon
would be great too.
Walken as Flair, or no, Walken as McMahon.
You know, I got these grapefruits.
You're fired. You're fired.
I wish you the best on your future endeavors.
Don't ask me where I got this watch from.
It came from the Kiss My Ass Club.
Exactly.
All right, with that said, that is the Sniper Kyle Krieger. I am the real deal Ryan Regan. This has been Jabronis United. Stay humble.